Welcome back to your Smart Money Source. In this video, we're going to do another backtesting session. And as you know the drill, we are going to pick a random number on Google and use that number to select the pair. In this case, the selected pair is CAD CHF, basically the Canadian dollar against the Swissy. And we are going to start with randomly picking a point in time. As you can see, the best way for me is simply shrinking the entire chart and moving to the left into a random level. Once we select this random level, I, as always, start from the monthly, going into the weekly and daily, and then later into the lower time frames. As you can see, starting from the monthly chart, we are on a clear downtrend. But price now is coming from taking the sell side liquidity. So yes, we are on a downtrend, but we can see that the candle in this case failed to close below the previous lower low. So in this case, I'm going to annotate this as a potential stop hunt that could initiate a retracement of this downtrend. After grabbing the sell side liquidity coming into the weekly chart now, we can see that price is bouncing off a breaker to the downside, coming back into this last liquidity grab based on the monthly. But at the same time, this liquidity grab created a shift, or sorry, not a shift, but rather a stop hunt on the weekly and a break of market structure. So in spite of being on a downtrend, the weekly is showing willingness to go higher. Now onto the daily chart, we can see that on that weekly stop hunt on the monthly level is a reaccumulation on the daily chart. And at the same time, price now is moving forward, taking liquidity from equal lows, coming into around 50% of the last accumulation. From this 50% level, we can clearly see that smart money is pushing price higher, as on the daily chart, we can see a displacement coming and breaking structures on the daily chart. Based on this initial break of market structure on the daily chart after reaccumulation, I would try to take a trade here based on a retracement if it indeed happens. Otherwise, we are going to look for another trades. After this impulse up, we can see that price has made a stop hunt and what it seems to be a break of market structure. So if we are going to anticipate a retracement of this up move, it should be done from a higher time frame level, which in this case is a 4-hour void or liquidity imbalance. So based on this break of market structure, I will attempt to take a trade and hopefully get into my original idea of longing from the bottom. As you can see in this very first attempt of the trade, price went close to our entry 2 times without hitting it, and the third time we got stopped. I should have known that this failure to continue onto the downside is because smart money is still bullish and wanted to push price higher. So now onto the next trade. Now readjusting the bias, which was always bullish, but well, I tried to take a retracement trade. Now we recently had a break of market structure on this reaccumulation that we can see here. So I'm going to take a trade based on the order block and filling the imbalance that was left unfilled with this last impulse up. As you can see, the entry was perfect, so now we have to select a level to exit this trade, and I like to look for levels where I will potentially short from. In this case, we can see we have this order block inside of the past distribution. Inside of this distribution, I'm going to take another short because I know that there is a mitigation that's going to happen. In spite of being on a very bullish trend, usually these specific levels will give you a nice retracement. So I'm going to take an entry from this level, and as you can see, we had a very nice entry and a very nice reaction. I will close the trade at 2.5 hours because I'm afraid that because we are on a bullish trend and we just filled a void, we are going to potentially get stopped by price continuing the uptrend. Do you like the video? Consider subscribing and liking, it's free and it really helps growing the channel. As we just stop hunted an old high and filled an old void, I would love to look for a potential retracement if we have a clear break of market structure from this low. So I'm going to wait for this low to be broken and then look for a shorting opportunity. If we have the opportunity to go short, I would ideally look for a retracement into this void that we can see here on the 4 hour. When I tried to move from the 4 hour chart into the 2 hour chart, unfortunately there was an error here on the TradingView website and the chart, the barrier play was reset. So I need to shrink the chart again and look for where I was looking at previously. We finally had the break of market structure that I was looking for, so let's try to take a short based on the last unmitigated levels. As price was approaching my entry, it missed the entry just by a little bit and made a down move. And this makes me think that there is a potential distribution schematic being formed here on the 15-minute chart. So I will start annotating this schematic and wait for a better opportunity. As you can see, we have the uptrust formed here and a very nice move to the downside. So now that we had this engulfing move to the downside with big spread or big bodied candles, I would love to take a short from this area. Unfortunately, this short ended up missing the entry just by a little bit and price continued falling down. The good thing about this is that the bias or the direction was perfect, but of course the execution on lower time frames is sometimes very necessary. As we are approaching a level where price bounced off after creating the first original void, this could be the preliminary supply of a bigger schematic, and we had a 15-minute break of market structure. So I'm going to attempt taking a long here. One more time, the idea to go long was correct, but price didn't make a retracement in this case. So what I'm going to do now is attempt to take a short from this last uptrust where we initially tried to short from. Perfect entry. Now price is in profits around 2 hours, but I'm moving the stop loss at break even just in case price decides to continue going higher. And indeed, as you will see now, price continued going higher and took me out at break even. We managed to make 6.65 IRR on this backtesting. This result can be improved by entering on lower time frames, even double or triple this amount of profits. And this happened on a span of only 4 days. So if you're trying to pass a prop firm using these strategies, it won't be difficult to do so. As you can see, the RR is amazing. Thank you guys very much for watching. Destroy the like button and see you in the next one.